I was at a speech yesterday, and I heard somebody say, reason leads to conclusion, and emotion leads to action. I thought, wow, that's like perfect, because I'm getting ready to talk about stories, and stories are all about the emotions. If we give you a whole lot of content and we don't share stories behind them, we're not going to act on it. We know what to do, but we're not going to act. I learned that when I joined NSA, and I met people that taught me about storytelling, but I learned it even more so from Mrs. Pantley, the storyteller at my library when I was growing up. And she would tell us stories, and we would sit there in amazement, which is what I do as an adult when I see someone like Maya Angelou. Probably the best storyteller in history, and certainly one of the most inspiring speakers I've ever seen. And what Maya Angelou does is she shares not just through her stories, but through her passion and her stately way of being, that you just want to listen to everything she says. And I remember a number of years ago seeing her speak and thinking, oh my gosh, you have just changed my life. And years later, I got to visit with her and walk up to her and tell her that I'd seen her speak and that she had changed my life, that I decided I wanted to make a difference in people's lives by the way that I talked to them. And she said to me, you just did. I was in awe. So for her 80th birthday, a group of us in Dallas had a birthday party for her. And you see here Maya Angelou, Dr. Tim Seelig, and a whole group of us singing. And that was me, yes, younger and thinner, but getting to visit with my hero and my idol, Maya Angelou. And it was at that moment, and you could see it in my face. I was just like, wow, is that awe? But I reserve most of my awe for the best storyteller I ever knew, Joe Rifkin. No coincidence that my name is Gary Rifkin. Joe Rifkin, my brother, brilliant storyteller, brilliant, passionate man. His best stories were about his son, Jack. Now, I know you all have stories about your kids and your grandkids and your nephews and but when Joe told a story about Jack, everybody listened because they understood that they could learn something from Joe's Jack stories. They could learn something from Joe's stories about Grandma Sarah. This picture was taken in 2003, December, and it was the very last picture ever taken of Joe, because he passed away just a few weeks later. It was the last time I ever saw him. And that was a very difficult time for me, when I lost my big brother, and all of a sudden, I had to think back to all the things that we had done together. And I knew that I had to figure out a way to be for my family and for my friends. And so you see us many years later now without my brother in the picture. And I discovered during that time that I had to find that core of people that would always be in my life. And so you see here Eloise and Dean and Eric and Amy and John and Doug. They are my core six. They are my family. Because during that grieving time, I found that all those people that I would be there for no matter what weren't always there for me. But these six were. And so when Eloise got married, we were all there for her. We are our own family, along with all the other families in our lives. And after creating this core six, I knew that I could talk about Joe, that I could talk about Jack and Grandma Sarah, who are absolutely my biggest storytelling subjects. And every time I talk about them, I know, yes, I'm telling you about people in my life, but you're thinking about people in your life. I love to sing. And 3 years ago, after singing for Dr. Angelou, we started a choir called Resounding Harmony. Now, there's a lot of choirs out there, but this choir is different, because every time we sing, we raise money. In the last 3 years, we have raised over $100,000, and we've gotten to do things like sing at Carnegie Hall. We've gotten to do things like, well, you can see me in the chef's outfit. I was singing about mozzarella cheese, but it was okay because we were raising money for the North Texas Food Bank. When you tell stories, tell them about things that for you are passionate, that you love. If you have passion for your platform in front of an audience, your audience will come with you. Your content will be cemented. And not only will they have an emotional connection to you and your content, but they will take action on that message. And you'll have made a difference in the lives of every person like I got to do with Dr. Maya Angelou. Thank you.